Welcome future leaders to Mtoto na Sheria Show, where we make the law simple for children to understand. My name is Blessed Barak Juma. Today, our focus is on government budgeting and planning. Do you know what government budgeting and planning is? Send us your answers on the numbers on your screen. I know most of you might not really understand what government budgeting and planning is. We have a solution to that. Let us welcome our explainer, Hadija, to unpack this information for us.
Hi! When you're talking about government planning and budgeting, we mean it's how the Kenyan government decide what the country needs. Do we need schools, hospitals, roads, or even clean water? Yes, we do. But where does the government get this money from? Mostly from taxes that people pay when they buy things or earn money, and sometimes from other countries or big organizations that give support. It's just like how your family decides what to spend money on. It can be food, it can be school, it can be even clothes. Now, the government does the same, but for the whole country. If they plan well, then children can learn in good classroom, get medicine when they are sick, and play in good playgrounds.
Thank you very much, Adija, for that information. But now, Adija is not the expert. We are having an expert in the house, Mr. Elijah Bonyo.
Hello, sir. Welcome to Mtoto na Sheria Show. Would you mind introducing yourself?
Thank you very much. My name is Bonyo Elijah Dond. I'm from World Vision Kenya, which is an NGO here in Kenya.
Thank you very much, sir, Mr. Bonyo. So, Mr. Bonyo, I heard that you're an expert in more about this. So, what is government budgeting for children and how does it concern us?
Okay, before we go to government budget, budget is about money. You know, like in your house where you stay, sometimes you sit together with your parents and you want to agree how much money are you going to spend on something. For example, how much money are your parents going to spend on buying new clothes? How much money are they going to spend on buying new food? How much money are they going to spend on buying new books? So when you're discussing with your parents how much money they're spending, you're really doing budgeting at the house level. When you go to school, when the teachers and the teachers are planning how much money are they going to spend on food for children in school, for example, or how much money are they going to spend to pay the electricity bills, how much money are they going to spend to take you for sports or drama, that's already budgeting. So in government, it's the same thing. When the government says children are supposed to go to school, how much money do they need to put in place to ensure teachers are paid? That means they're budgeting to pay teachers. How much money do they need to put in place to ensure books are in school? That means they're budgeting for books. How much money do they need to put in place to ensure that children have food in school? That means they're budgeting for school days. How much money do they need to put in place to ensure that schools have water? They're budgeting for water. How much money do they need to put in place to ensure that schools have electricity? They're budgeting for electricity. When you go to the villages, and sometimes we say we need street lights. So what the government says, we want to put money to put street lights. They're not only budgeting for street lights, but they're also budgeting for the security. So that's basically what government budget is.
But what are these children programs that the government has set aside specific amount to fund in 2025?
Okay, maybe before again we go to the 2025.
Sure.
You know, in Kenya, we have the constitution. And the constitution already has the things the government should do for children. So sometimes we say that Article 53 of the constitution have the rights of children. So when you go to Article 53 of the constitution, already it is written, for example, every child has the right to free and compulsory basic education, for example. Now, in the constitution, it's written what the government should do for people, right? Now, so from the constitution, we also have the Children Act. It also has what government should do for children. So the things government should do for children are in the Constitution and also in the Children Act. For example, when I say education is the Constitution and the Children Act. When you say health is the Constitution in the Children Act. When you say water, the same thing. When we say, for example, being protected from all forms of abuse and violence is in the Constitution in the Children Act. So what government does, the things in the Constitution and the things in the Children Act is what then government budgets for children. But most importantly, even before we say we're only budgeting for things in the Constitution Act, the government should also ask children what do they want to be in the budget. Now, the previous years, you have a budget. So that, for example, when you go to school, there's a budget for whenever you go to school. When you are unwell and you go to the hospital, there's a budget to ensure there's a doctor and there's a nurse. So even 2025 moving forward, you know this year's 2025 already. So when you say 2025, you see something that children need to know is that government financial year, the year the government starts, is different with your school year. You know, 2025, January is when you started going to school for 2025. Now for government, they look at the start of the year as July. So the budget that people are talking about now is starting from July. So they are going to call it 2025 to 2026. So the things in that budget are very many things for children. So we have the national government budget and you also have the county government budget. For example, here in Nairobi County, Governor Sakaja has a budget, right? National government, President William Ruto also has a budget. So those two budgets have some things for children. And to understand them in terms of how much money is a very, very difficult process in my view. It requires a lot of reading. You see, the same way you take your book and do it from page 1, page 2, page 3 for you to understand what you are being taught. So that budget is also very big. Right now, the budget we are talking about is over 1,000 pages. The challenge therefore is, if adults like us do not want to read budgets, children will not read budgets. So what we need to do, adults must read the budget, parents must read the budget, teachers must read the budget, then children will understand the budget.
Mr. Boyu,
Yes.
how can parents involve children in budgeting at home?
Okay. Remember when we started, we said that before you are bought for clothes, we're supposed to ask, how much money do we have for buying clothes? So that parents involve you in deciding the clothes to be bought. So you also have a taste. You have an idea to say what type of clothes you want. Food. For 1 month, you can decide what is the menu or that you want to eat in your house. When you decide on the menu, then now you agree. How many times are you going to eat rice? How many times are you going to eat meat? How many times are you going to eat chapati? How many times are you going to eat ugali? So when you're discussing that with your parents are involving you. So parents are supposed to have conversation with children on how much money are they going to spend for clothes, how much money are they spending for food, how much money are they going to spend for taking children for leisure or play. So every little thing that parents are doing for you, you're supposed to have a conversation, not just what is to be done, but how much money is being spent. And you're supposed to have meetings in the house as a family to discuss that, so that when your parent is broke, you can appreciate he's broke because he has no money. And when he has money, you appreciate that today he has something. Including when you go to church, you are supposed to discuss how much offering are you going to do to pay in church, so that every month you know how much you are spending on giving offering to church. Yes, when you go for a school trip, how much are you spending on snacks? Now that is how parents are supposed to involve children in budgeting at the house. Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bonyo. I appreciate having a conversation with you. This was a very engaging in our conversation. Yes. I'm so proud and I've learned a lot from you.
Thank you very much for speaking to me today. I'm happy to meet you again.
My name is Chache. I am 13 years old. I come from Kisumu County. Yes, I know about DAC. It is the Day of African Child. I think it's important for us children to be involved in government planning and budgeting process so that the government may not do their own things. Please get to hear us, because when it comes to children, everyone is touched. We are the future generation and we deserve to be heard because the future belongs to us. Thank you.
My name is Maren. I am a child ambassador for Toto SDG and I come from Kisumu County. I know the Day of the African Child is about standing up for our rights, just like children did in 1976. I believe children should be part of the government planning and budgeting because our voices matter in building a better future. If I met the government, I'll ask them to invest in children through education, health, and climate action, especially SDG 4, quality education, SDG 3, good health, and SDG 13, climate action, so that no child is left behind. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Lucas. I'm 13 years old from Kisumu County. I know about the Day of African Child. It reminds me of the brave children in South Africa who stood up for their rights. And it teaches us to keep speaking for children's rights all over Africa. Children should be part of government planning and budgeting because we are the ones who use the things the government plans for. We go to schools, we use the hospitals, and we suffer most when the things are not well done. If children share their ideas, the government can plan better for real problems that we face every day. If I could talk to the government, I would say please include children when you make plans. Create safe spaces for us to talk, ask us what we need, and make sure there's enough money to protect the children, help poor families, and support our dreams. Thank you.
So now, which other topic do you want us to discuss on our next episode? Share your feedback with us and we will gladly talk about it. I am your host, Blessed Barak Juma. See you guys on our next episode.